my favorite books, and I think we'll cover this in the show coming up in the next couple of weeks, is The Greatest Salesman in the World by Agmadino.
It's an excellent book. I must have read that book 10 times, 20 times. But you know what I tell people? Let's say you spend an hour a day in your car, and that's probably a conservative time amount,
right,
during the course of your day, picking up your kids, going to work, coming back from work, stuck in traffic. If you're doing an hour a day of listening to a book, that's 365 hours a year. That's more time than you actually spend in a learning environment. So you're getting all of this content for free.
Yeah, and I think the key is, and I'm taking this from the Agmadino book, be the greatest you can be.
Right.
Don't just stop where you are. And that's what forward motion is all about, right? Moving forward, taking a step forward. If you wake up and you don't take a step towards something better, then you're going to be stuck in the same place and you'll be stagnant.
If you're in the top 5% of your industry, regardless of what industry you're in, you are the top earner. You are one of the top earners. And the way to do that is through knowledge. We are a knowledge-based society, and there's so much knowledge out there that you could get for free. There's so much content you can get for free. Why not take advantage of it? And then, as we're going to be showing you in the forward motion process, in the forward motion show, you need to be a leader. You need to be in that top 5% and not relying on somebody else to get you where you want to go.
Right.
There's an old saying, if you want a hand, just look below your elbow. That's what forward motion is all about.
Here in forward motion, we're going to cover business books and case studies. And that's what I really want to move into now is we'll explore case studies of actual businesses that haven't succeeded and failed for a number of different reasons. I mean, listen, it's easy to start. It's easy to start a business, right? But it's pretty hard to keep a business going.
And I tell people all the time, don't think that you're stagnant. You're either in business, you're either growing or you're failing. You got to be one or the other. There's no such thing as staying in.
So we'll look at that over the next few shows, and we'll really dig in and bring some facts to you too. And then from there, we'll give you our opinion on what they could have done or what they should have done to make their business a little better. Something that comes to mind, and I share this in my class, my marketing classes, and my digital marketing classes, that we're in a world right now where everything is moving fast and technology is all around us. Look at the technology we have here with this show. But if you're not adapting and if you're not innovating, you're really dying. And that's the key.
Exactly.
And we're moving so fast right now that a small business owner is sort of left behind in the background. But that's the whole idea. If you don't innovate and if you don't stay ahead, you're going to be looking.
Complacency is the enemy.
Right. And in today's world, it's happening so much faster. It's not like you could put a business plan together and you could sit at a board meeting, or you could be in the back of your office in a small business and say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to do that. It's going to be too late tomorrow. Right. It's going to be too late tomorrow.
Well, the same thing with people. It's not only entrepreneurship applied in this show to businesses, but it's also entrepreneurship spirit applied to the individual yourself. Do you want to be able to get where you want to go as an individual? I tell my students, this is our time. Let's make the best of it.
Yeah. And if it's interesting, you think about, wow, all the technology and all the changes, think about when the car first came out and that sort of became mainstream, and that changed the world. It actually changed everything, and, could be credited to changing our lifestyle. And then, of course, you had the TV, the radio, the TV, all these forward motions, and, the opportunity to fly, right? The creation of flight and commercial airlines. I mean, that sort of broke down the borders of the two big oceans that separated the U.S., right?
Imagine for 1 minute, we had our grandfathers in the studio.
Yeah. What they would say?
They would say, what are you guys doing? Why are you talking into that fuzzy ball? What's going on?
Yeah. I'm just happy, like you said, I'm part of this. And, we'll talk about this in our show, and we'll make some comparisons to yesteryear, let's call it, and today's environment. What I find too that's interesting is I've been in marketing and business development all my life, and let's call it 30 plus years. We have basic fundamental stuff, and we teach this in our classes too. We have fundamental theories, fundamental basic steps. And I'm a baseball guy. You got to know how to catch, throw, and hit, right? Well, those basic fundamental steps have really not changed. They just moved into the digital atmosphere.
They got new names.
They got new names, which is crazy, right? A
Right.
persona, no longer a
Right.
profile, and an
Right.
avatar.
Avatar. Now we're avatars. We're not people anymore. We're avatars.
So, but it's still the same concept underneath it, right? It's still the same theory. So that's some of the things that we'll talk about, that as we sort of bridge the gap between, let's call our generations, the baby boomers and the Gen X's, and take it into the millennials, and we'll sort of make some comparisons and talk about that as a fascinating topic. So the third part of our show in Forward Motion will be an interview with an entrepreneur or business leader, let's say, or disruptor, right? That's the key thing. We're going to get a disruptive business leader in here. And one of the key things we're going to ask them and learn from them is their $10,000 mistake. We all make mistakes, and you can't avoid that. In business, you can't avoid it. Tell us about that $10,000 mistake. And hopefully it's not more than $10,000, but it'll be a learning for our audience and a learning for everyone who's growing their business. And maybe they can take something away and not make that same mistake. And I think that's key too, because when I go to seminars, and I go to quite a bit, and when I listen to speakers and I listen to other business leaders, it's great to hear their success story. I mean, that's phenomenal, and we all like to hear success stories. I mean, the U.S., America is all based on success stories, and we like that. But I like to learn from failures, and I've learned a lot from failures personally. So if I could spend 15 minutes with a business disruptor, I like to know about their success. That's great, but I really want to know about the failures they've had, and the what it cost them and what they learned from that. Because if I could take away some learnings from their failures, perhaps I could not make the same mistake. Right.
Well, if you meet a successful person and they tell you they've never had a failure or a setback, I think they're being overly optimistic. And also, they leverage their success through the help of other people, through mentors, through enablers, and we're going to bring that all out to you in the show, and you're going to see how all the pieces fit together, and hopefully learn from those pieces, just like we learned from history, and hopefully not make the same mistake, or maybe that's the impetus to get you to the next level.
So Forward Motion is going to be a great show. We hope you stick with us. We'll have a lot of exciting things to talk about. The breakdown of the show is pretty simple. The first part of the show, we'll talk about business books, for business leaders, and give you our opinion on that. And then, of course, we'll cover some business cases and some key takeaways, some pivotal moments in that business case. And again, our goal is to help you grow as a business leader,
get to that next
level. And then the last part of our show is going to be exciting, because we will have a business disruptor in here. We're in the South Florida area, so we'll start down here in South Florida, and I'll work our way up through the East Coast and out west, I guess, sometime. But our show is going to be packed with all kinds of information. It'll be about 30 minutes, and we hope that you join us. And Professor Paul and I will be excited to share some great things with you.